Well, we are back. My name is Randy Wittes. This is my shop. Ha, you thought I was going to say Chevelle, right? That's my shop. And this is my 67 Chevelle. Well, we have been progressing. And from my last video, which was more tunnel stuff, which I'll show you that there, more tunnel stuff. Anyway, that's sitting in there. That has 4 bolts holding it down. We put these cute little doodads in it. See? And you can see one there. So it's just sitting there. It's not all tightened up, but it's sitting there. So next, what we want to do, I'm going to attempt to build a console. I have no design, I have no plans, I have no measurements, I have a piece of cardboard. So, I'm going to start, we have a little more than that, but not much. My plan, obviously, is to build it around this here shifter and in between the seat. Had this shifter for a very long time. It still works perfectly, so we're going to keep it. I have to build this console along the lines of here, come out some, maybe, I'm not sure, and then run it up into here, maybe this far. It might just go straight into it and then taper back so we can still lift this panel out, I want to say, or I'm stuttering here. I don't know. That's the direction I'm going. So, it may change as I go. Now the dash comes across here. I had a console I made a bazillion years ago, just out of fiberglass and some parts of stuff, and it actually came up and met into the dash, about like this. Do I want to go back that route? Maybe, but it will have to attach to the dash. And I'm not really wanting to do that because it was a real chore to get behind it to do it. And as I'm talking to you about this, I'm thinking, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just go to here with it. And then the dash comes across about so. And we probably will be sticking the dash back in here shortly, just to see where that's going to end up. So that's the plan. I don't have one. We're just going to build something. Figure it out as we go and make it happen. So let's get to it. Ready, set, go. Yeah. No. Whoopsie. Gonna hurt. Okay, now what I need to decide is, what am I going to do shape-wise? Am I going to cut it off level, come up, go down, and then back down? Am I going to come up, leave it all the way across? Am I going to come all the way across, angle up, armrest style, come over, and then angle back to here and mount the nitrous bottle there? Something to think about. So that's what I'm going to do. A lot of thinking. See how I want to trim this thing out. See you then. Good morning, everybody. Quick update on the console. Well, been doing a lot of thinking. It's changed 3 times, and just wanted to show you where I am right now. So this is where I am right at the moment. Looks all right. Looks good. Don't know for sure what I'm doing here. Was going to have this come up, put another arm pad here, you know, for your elbow, because that's important. But I'm thinking maybe just cutting it off all the way over, all the way along. I can then do whatever I like as far as arm pad, build it up, open it, whatever type of deal, because I'm going to have to get to the bolts that are going to be in this area. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. Just cut this off, cut that a little bit of an angle, and see, I'm thinking as I'm talking, and anyway, cut this off, little angle, finish that out. I like how this looks, and I think how it's going to be, but I can't use tape to fasten everything down. I'm not going to weld it solid, because I'm going to cut this. This will be a panel that I can remove so I can get to that tunnel. This I want to be able to remove, because I'm thinking my control switches are going to be up here. I was wanting to maybe put them here. This isn't wide enough. So anyhow, that's the update. As you can tell, just well, and the other thing is I'm going to make this frame out of 1/4 inch round stock. So that's going to come in 1/4 inch, and the plan was to weld a tab that came in so far 1/2 inch, so that I could then take this panel, and it would be inset 1/4 inch, so it would round into this panel and this panel, More thinking, more figuring, but we'll get it. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, so we built a side, and don't worry, these aren't staying on here because I put them on there because I only have one other piece of round rod, and that's enough to make one side. I actually came out with that much left over. So it fits, but you know, it's one side. So what are we gonna do? We gotta build another side. See you in a minute. Oh, and I wanted to add, the other side is not going to be the same as this side. Otherwise, what we could have done is put both round rods together and bend them out, and they would have been exactly the same. But my other side's different, so I couldn't do that. So, see you in a minute. Hey everybody, I have my shape as far as this is concerned. And yes, it's off because I'm not holding it. I don't have both hands and hold the camera at the same time. But there, you can see. Now, what I'm trying to do is this piece comes down, and in some point here, so it's roughly crap. Yeah, I messed up. That's okay, I can fix that. Probably be better off anyhow. Anyhow, right here, you can see, right here, mine's supposed to come down. This is actually, anyway, I'm thinking. What that noise is. That over there. See, I wasn't following my template. I thought, well, I'll just do it like this over off the other piece. Yeah, well, see, that's not supposed to be there in this one. It's supposed to go this way, then this way. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. See, and if I'd have thought about that first, I could have bent these two together, and I wouldn't be doing this twice like this. Live and learn, but I won't be doing this again. So, see, what I'll do is, it'll be easier. I'll come back and bend this piece and put this in. So anyhow, the other problem here is this has to curve. This has to go come down and then go like so. So I've got to bend my rod to follow this. Just exactly how much that is, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to bend it, set it in the car, I guess, and go from there. Each bend looks like it's roughly 1.5 inches, maybe, not quite. I don't have my tape measure handy. Alright, use this. Yep, I was correct. 1.5 inches. So I'll do that. I'll measure my bends 1.5 inches and go from there, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we've got our simple little jog, which basically looks like 245s, and moving on to the next bend. Alrighty, got the second one bent. I actually bent it all in one piece. As you can see, here's my little curve, and I tacked it to the other one because I wanted to make sure everything was really close, and everything is really close. So I'll flatten that out a little bit, probably. But each side isn't exactly the same because of placement. I guess, I don't know. It's just the way the cardboard came out when I was cutting it. So I have to pick up some more round rod so I can put some braces in here and cut this off, weld to that one, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, that was fun. We've got our frame all mocked up and looking like we can do something with that. So took a little bit to figure things out. Had to go back. I forgot I didn't twist this little bottom one down here. I had to get this a little more aligned with the shifter. You know, look down my lines and straighten them out and beat them around. And first off, I had a crossbar here which didn't work, so I had to put it here and move that. And anyway, we got her in, and I'm going to start doing the next step, whatever that may be. See you then. Hey everybody, so got my basic frame on my console. I don't know if you can even see it. Here it is. See? Right here. My console. Got it marked. Got it where I mount it. I'm also going to mount it up here on the dash. What I'm doing at this point is I've marked my sheet metal to cut that out. Okay. And I'm going to put a design in here, so I'm going to have to mark that out as well. And the frame has changed like 14 times since I was last with you. Added this little curve here, made it a little more equal, gave me a little more space on this side. Added this here, tore it apart 14, like I said, 14 times. And I think we have something that we're going to work with. So I'm going to get busy and be back with you. Hey everybody, so went and cut some sheet metal, laid it out, got it bent. Freaking nightmare right here. You can see it's not perfectly straight down and all that. And anyway, we got it. Several hours later, I've laid out a line that I'm going to attempt to run a bead on this panel. So let's see if we can put a whole bunch of hours into something and then mess it up. Let's keep our fingers crossed that I don't do that, because you know I've only made like 2 beads on a piece of sheet metal, so I'm expecting a lot out of myself here. Then my plan is to come back and put dimple in here along the side. So that's another thing. You know, if we don't mess up the bead, we can still have a chance to mess it up putting the dimples in it. So, wish me luck. Okay, I'm going to set it there. Find that the more I try to stay online, the more I get offline. Now I got to taper this thing back in around these curves. But anyway, I'm not going to talk much because I need to concentrate. So, just watch. Okay, that's enough. And I'm way off right here. See ya. Okay, everybody. Got my pre-holes drilled where I want them. Those are just, you know, pre-holes, whatever you want to call them. Got my dimple dies ready. Cut it with my hole saw. Now I'm going to bring the circle out a little bit. I have a complete mess here. Kind of burrs things. Now, the dimple die. Never used this before, so let's see what happens. So we do it this way, or this way. No, because it'll come this way. Don't want it that way. Get the die in the hole. Now get a really big hammer. So, hopefully you don't fall over. One more. No, need one more. There we go. That's our dimple that we were looking for. That's what that will look like. Now I just have a bunch more to do. See you when I'm done. Okay, folks. Well, that is one side panel tacked on to the frame. Not mounted, but sitting there. So, on to the next one. And we're back. So we got both sides. Sorry about that. Got both sides on our console. We've got our mounting holes drilled and our squishy nuts, as I call them, put in. Mounting bracket here, squishy nuts. And now I'm going to start on these front side panels. That will go not like that. Keep messing this up somehow. I don't know why. Anyway, goes right like so. Okay. This will be removable. It will overlap this panel. And I got a new die in that will help allow me to use a... I'll show you that later. So, that's where we are. Let's get to making. Good morning. So, I'm back. I told you I was going to show you, and I just moved it. So let's walk over here in front of the windmill. Handy dandy little dimple die that I got. And I already broke it, so just be careful. I used it once, but I'm not going to use it in front of you. But here's your little dimple die. I broke this pin. Luckily I was able to drive the pin down into here a little farther, so it's still, I can use it. But you drill your pilot hole in your sheet metal, which I don't have one, but you get the idea. Put it over the top, press it down, get that cute little dimple, which allows you to use a 1024 little screw, and it's countersunk and it looks pretty cool. So that's the whole idea, and I will use my little squishy nuts on the back side, but you get the idea with that too. So I did another little mess up. I was going to have my steel stick out this far, probably probably needed to go a little farther, I'm not sure. But, so I could put these little little dimples in it, and then screw it to my console, because this is the front piece. Well, as you can see, I did not do that. So I'm debating whether or not to cut a new piece of metal, or do it this way where I overlap it. And I'm just going to use a piece of scrap where I overlap it this way, dimple die, and put it together that way. I guess we will, you'll know that once I decide how I'm going to do it. I thought maybe I could grind off my little spot welds here and come back and maybe weld a panel to that. Probably will cause a lot of warpage, I don't know. One way to find out, though. Know what I'm saying? So let's see what we can screw up this time. And you couldn't see any of that. Let's try that again. Okay. Take two. Here's my little dimple die. I broke that pin once already. I was able to drive it a little bit farther down in, and so I can still use it now. It's extremely hard steel. It snapped right off, and I was using a vise to press it. It wasn't like I was beating it with a hammer. But this is what it produces. So that allows me to use a 1024 cute little screw in there, and I will use the squishy nuts on the back to make that happen. My plan was to extend this sheet metal so I could make my little dimples in it and then screw it to the other piece of sheet metal. Well, as you can see, I did not do that. So I'm thinking to either make an overlapping piece and do my little dimples like such, or come back and cause myself more aggravation and some warpage and just weld my flange on there like so. Not sure how I'm going to do it yet, so bear with me. I may try this. Bear with me there, and you'll find out what I do. Okay, I told you I messed up, but anyhow, I fixed it, ripped everything off, redid it, and here we go. This is what we look like. I cut a new piece, extended it, did what I wanted to do, put the little dimples in it, cut 2 more holes, ran my bead around, and that's our finished product right there. Pretty sturdy, actually. I was going to put a mount, well, and I may still do that, put a mount on the back side in here somewhere, maybe put another little dimple for a screw. But on my third hole, of course, I broke the pin. At least I got through 3 versus 1. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. The little dimple die, I believe, is just mainly made for aluminum. And I'm doing 18 gauge steel. So I don't know why it's breaking. So see you in a minute. Hey everybody. So we're back and we're messing with the console some more. I don't think you can see me, but you see my knees. What I've been doing, kind of busy. Laid out my lines so I can continue with my little thingies. This side I can't do those because of this. And I could probably do one. It will fit under here, but I don't really want to. It's not necessary that I don't want to risk it. I'll put a hole for a screw, like a round-headed screw or something right there, just so it holds it. And then I'll do one here, probably one here. Here. So, been working on this thing all day. It was quite out of shape and just not looking good. So I finally got it where I wanted it, where it looks good from this way and this. Well, I didn't really look this way. And this way and that way and that way. Maybe I'm going to look this way. Probably won't like it, but we're going to leave it. So let me look at it real quick. Well, had it this way. I don't really see anything I don't like. I kind of compare this line here to this one. Maybe it's not perfect, but the seat's in the way, so it breaks it up. Is it level? I don't know. Do I care at this point? Not really. Sometimes you have to get those happy mediums. And this thing was a real chore to make it fit all the way around and up here. And yeah, okay, there we go. And to be honest with you, I've still been going back and forth. Right now I'm trying to figure to put a screw here, either here or on the side. There are no blueprints of this except for in here. And those change every time I look at it. But the changes have gotten better, I think. Realize none of this is perfectly square or perfect side to side or nothing. So you have to, like this line versus this crease here, this crease isn't the same from here to here. The bend's a little different. Just little things that if you want to nitpick, you spend all day. So, anyhow, I'm going to stare at this for a while, figure out how I'm going to mount it. And go from there. Not going to shut you off, I'll just let the camera run until it dies. I think what I need to do though is put these holes in and these are 3.5 up here. Brought it down here to be 3.5, and it came out right here. Well, I didn't like that right there. I wanted that more in this curve. And probably needs to be right here, be in the curve, and over here. But I don't want it obvious. You know, I want them to try to be equal. And this curve and this curve are not perfect from each other. And when I say perfect, you know, 1/8 of an inch makes a big difference. Now you're saying 1/8 of an inch, big deal. It is a big deal. So, depending on how you're looking, either from this way or from this way, I'm just yammering. Let me see something. Voila! Aha! I put it there. That's what it looks like. Doesn't look bad. Hey everybody, been working on this cover right here, and as you can see, I put some, I don't know what you want to call them, little things so I can put bolts into it and bolt it down. It's ugly on the back side, but we'll clean some stuff up. And how I did that was simply cut 1 inch off this tubing right here and then cut it at a diagonal, made it the arch that I wanted, and I'm going to weld and clean these up and make these look a little prettier than what they are later on. But I got my nice sharp area in here that I didn't have to do any grinding on, because I welded that on the back side versus trying to weld it down in here and grind it out, because I don't have anything sharp enough to get that. I'm going to have to get some things from my Dremel, clean these up, straighten them out a little bit. As you can see, it's not straight across, neither is that. So just takes time. So the next thing I'm doing is right in here. I need 2 areas where I can bolt it straight down. So fit that up, we gotta check things, see where it's actually going to sit, and what I would like to do, set these first in here, which I'm going to use the squishy nuts, compressed nuts, whatever you want to call them. Set those 2 so it's held solid. Then come back, figure these out. But I don't have to see any issues with where it's going to mount. Yeah, that's the idea of that, sort of. Yeah, it's going to run right into where we don't want to. going to get started on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, we have these roughed in. I try using the carbides to clean them out with. They'll do more damage than they actually fix. And they start bucking and jumping. So I got to get some finer sandpaper type stuff. That's where that should go. And now we got to drill a couple holes and put our little squishy nuts in and put these in. So that's it for that. See you on the next one. Good morning, everybody. Working on the console. I guess we can call this part 2 because we've done this part. Now we're going to do that part. After all the welding and grinding and making that edge look pretty, things warp. I don't know how the guys on YouTube do it, but I touch it with a welder and it just goes whew, whew. So anyway, I've been beating on this with a hammer, using a 2x4 to support it here and here, and then hitting it here to straighten this one out. This one wasn't the bad one. This one is the one that really likes to give me a lot of problems. You can see how that thing just looks like a bow, basically, a bow. Last time I did any straightening on that, messed up the alignment of my panels in there because I didn't have my panels in place. Will this make any difference? It'll help, maybe not. So hopefully that'll keep things kind of stationary up front. Almost didn't get things back aligned. I had to regrind. Anyway, long story. So I'm going to beat on this a little bit. Hopefully it works. It's getting heavier by the day. When you're working on your table and you have a bunch of tools on your table, just throw them all on the floor because they're going to end up there anyway. I don't know if you can see better from over here. Use this little 2x4. Put that one there, that one up there. Our biggest bow is in here. Let's see what happens. So, put you over here. Maybe you can see a little better. Not really, but alright. Chevy. Getting a little reflection off of here. This thing is really not straight right in through here as far as grinding goes, but straighter. Yeah, kind of. Well, let's say we kind of check. We're doing this. Kind of widens out towards the end here a little. But nice. If I could get that in even. Okay, everybody, well, made a box. The box sits down in there. I'm going to weld it in so I can warp some more stuff, drill my holes in, so then I can just bolt that through there. Or something to that effect. Nothing's square. You know, you try to make a square box and it's like you're trying to put it in a round hole. So anyhow, I'm gonna cut this to fit where I want it to, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I obviously welded up these seams. I've been grinding on these for an hour. The hardest part is grinding these and getting all the pits out, because then you got to come back and weld each little pit. which we'll show you on this one because I'm sure there'll be some hits. Main thing when you're grinding this is keep your disc flat and go over the whole surface. Don't do one of these because you'll just dig a big hole. So we're going to work on this for a minute, show you what we're doing. Okay, we got this all squared off. This came out pretty good. I've got pit there, pit there, pit there, and once I round that off, those should be gone. Okay, very tight space to work in, but we got it. We'll come back, clean it up even more with the DA with some 80 grit. But on to the next part. See you in a minute. Hey, well, been busy making my template. Kind of looks like Noah's Ark sitting up there. I have to have it 3 inches high, so when I'm sitting in my seat, my arm will actually rest just barely on it. Add a little natural style to it. Everything's going to be rounded like so. I don't know, it may change 14 times by the time I get done, but we shall see. I would like, I'll round the corners as best I can. Round these, round that, as you can see, obviously. Anyway, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, we are making progress. As you saw, we mocked that up. Now another one of these down below on the back side of the sheet metal for the hinge. So that'll be nice and sturdy. That won't crack and break and fall off like, you know, the factory stuff does. We'll have a little screw and a little screw here. But anyhow, so we are making some headway. So you get how that will work. So now we gotta cut some sheet metal and start bending and shaping that and applying it. See you in a minute. Okay, had to hurry up and show you this. As I go along and change things a little bit, I put this little quarter round rod in there. That'll help give me a nice round corner. And I'm piecing in this little piece right here, and then I'll piece this one in. This is going very nicely. A little lip right there, but when I weld it, grind that off, that'll be gone. This is flush. That's coming out where I want it. Sweet. Learn little tricks from the professionals. Get to use them on my own stuff. So, see you in a minute. Okay guys, got this little front panel on, and I'm not showing you everything that I'm doing because it literally is taking me hours. And I have 4-hour videos out there, and you guys aren't watching. So, you get bored, and I understand. Basically, to shape this piece of metal, I use this, and I've got a big old pipe over there on the other vise that I used for that. But once I weld up my seams, it'll be nice and rounded, just like this. Welded the sheet metal to here, round it all off, nice and smooth. But that's coming along nicely. Stole this little round rod deal, welding it to the console idea from Bad Chad. So go check him out. I even think he made something similar to this and cut the corners like that. I must have, because I sure couldn't have come up with the idea. Also fixed my little panel here. Remember, it was cut like this, and this had a little gap, and this had a little gap. So now it fits real nice and looks a lot better. So I'm gonna get going and start working on this corner. Hopefully it goes as well as the last one. See you in a minute. Okay, done with the corners, guys. Little touch-up pinholes to do there. But I gotta weld all this anyway, so corners look good. This one was not quite as easy as the first one, but it's in. It looks good. It's got good shape. Yeah, well, that's such good shape right there. But we can work that out. That's rounded right there. Why? Anyway, we'll fix it. No big deal. Might get to pad over it anyway, so who cares? So there will be a little push button switch right here to open this up with. So I'm done for now. Got something in my eye, even though I had my shield down, and it's this one. And so hopefully it came out. I went and flushed it and all that stuff. So we'll see you in a bit. Hi all. Good afternoon. It's been so long. It's taken me about 2 months to make this thing. So I easily forget where I was on camera. Made my bread box. Okay. It's just loose on here. What I did, we can see inside, 1/4-inch round rod welded on here, just tacked in a couple spots just to hold it, make it fit. Then I cut my sheet metal out, cut this shape out, bent it here and here, which then left me with two corners that I then had to bend in almost a diamond shape, and then welded those in. Looks pretty good. You can see on the back, plenty of penetration. Sometimes you go through. I'm going to put another, these are to keep it from sliding back and forth for the moment. I'm going to put in little tabs and then put another plate over the top of this down inside, so that's just covered up. I have to figure out a push button mechanism to be able to open it with, so that'll be exciting. And I'm also working on this right here, and I'm getting ready to cut that out. It'll bend here and here to then, which is this corner, and the bend goes to here, and then that will wrap down and around this. I don't know if you can see it. It'll bend from here and wrap down and around. That's where I am for the moment. We're making progress. And I kind of like the way that it looks right now. I de-ate it with 80 grit. I scrubbed it down with Ospo and a red Scotch-Brite pad, as you can see the scratches. But I kind of like it. Then I wipe the Ospo off. I gotta come back and clean these up better. And I wipe the Ospo off. That's what kind of gives it that blue tint, silverish look. I kind of like that industrial look. I've asked people if I could just clear over it the way that it is with the Ospo on it. Didn't really get an answer about the Ospo part, but there are plenty of clears just for this. So we shall see. We'll see you in a bit. Hey everybody. In my street clothes right at the moment. I want to do just a quick touch update. I don't know what I was trying to say. On this hinge. This hinge is not working like I planned. I want it just to open. I want it flat up against here, first of all. And when I just want it to open. And apparently that hinge doesn't work that way. Because as you try to open it, I can't really show you with one hand, but you see how the hinge part actually moves up. And I can't have that. And I've tried welding it in place to see what action I would get, and it's just not working. So, did a little research looking at other console tops and how they work. It's hard to explain, but it's a hinge that comes out like this and would attach down here. So I'm going to have to build a hinge. Why not, right? You know, building everything else, might as well build the hinge. So push that to the side, go to here in our little cover. It's getting there. We're getting it to fit. Been working on it, been pecking away at it. Had to polish up my little horn here because this rough surface leaves indentations in this metal. So, just working that on there, working it on this piece, just all kinds of stuff. Using this, whatever you got in the shop, use it. And that's what I've been doing. So it's slowly working. Be trimming it to here, roughly. So that's where we are at the moment. And when I figure some more stuff out, I'll get back to you. Hey everybody, I'm back again. So still working on the console. Just trying to do a little update again. Back on the metal piece here. Kind of, let that part sit until I figure out my hinge deal. Been working on this. Sanded this off and polished it because this is very coarse. Helped me to form the little round part in that, if you can see it, and made it so it would fit right up there like so. Really nice. Down in here, up here. Now I'm getting ready to drill my holes for my dimple die and my screws right there like that. So I'm going to set you over here for a second. Gonna put a little light clamp on it. The holder in place, and gonna watch me drill some holes. Nothing like being prepared. Had to find my battery. So that fits up nice and snug. Hopefully putting the dimples in it doesn't mess it up too much. Whoa. We jumped forward. Great. Awesome. That's not good. Okay. Hold this down now. Okay, Everybody's happy. That one's not going to be so happy, but that hole gets drilled bigger anyway. So let's go over here to our little dimple die on our little press. Set up our handy dandy camera cart. You know, whatever we can get. Well, there we go. Okay. Have to think for a second how this actually works. So it's going to push up that way. Yep, that's what we want. So, shove that in that hole, that in that hole. Flip it over this way. Our handy dandy tool here and here. This actually makes it a lot nicer. See, all you have to do is bring it on down. Now that's curved right there, so I need to be a little careful. And there's our dimple. See, now it goes from an 1/8 inch hole to, I guess, a 10. Our screw, well, I'll probably have to run a drill through that, but that's how that works. Works out pretty decent. And you can see it messed up our edge a little, but we can fix that. Now this one I'll go a little farther because the metal is a little flatter there. Voila. So now we're just cranking them out. Oh, I am messing up. Hey everybody, back on the console again. We're still on the console. Got my back piece finished, as you saw when I did the dimples. Got this all trimmed in. Didn't mess up my edges too much. When it buckles, I can see I was straightening that out. What I end up having to do is put this piece on here and then hit on top of the dimples and around the dimples, kind of help things relax so they fit again. But I think that came out rather nice. Tucks right in there, nice and smooth. Now, next to the neck, back to this. If you remember, I got this big old monster hinge to try, and all that did was lift the back of this up. Well, I went and bought this little tiny hinge, which now I can't get this one open. Anyhow, a little tiny hinge. Thinking, okay, well, that will decrease my space here. It does not. When this opens, you see what happens to my space. It closes right here. So in order to open it only that far, I have to raise it up this far. Like I said, I gave this a shot. Didn't work. So I mentioned also building a hinge that's got an arch to it. And I didn't want to have to do that, but I have to do it. See if that works. So hopefully I won't spend hours upon hours doing that and then end up with this same problem, or it just not work at all. But I think that will work as long as I engineer it correctly. It's going to have to, like I've said, see if I can see, it will attach somewhere in here and have a big arch. It's going to have to cut a slit in this, so when I close that, the big arch goes back into here. So yeah, my hinge will swing from the back side of that plate. I'm going to remove this panel, back side of that plate, and then when I lift it up, it'll be attached like so, and it'll be on a hinge, a pin, and then it will should just swing up. But I get that idea from other console lids. Factory console lids often have that, I don't know what you want to call it, that style of hinge, I guess. So it will lift and then come back down versus completely pivot here. Pivot point will be in a different spot, but it allows this whole thing to just kind of go like this. Okay, that's where we are, and I'm going to get to it and be back with you. Hey everybody. Well, I've been thinking a lot, pondering, trying to come up with a hinge idea. And I came up with one. It was all fancy and whatnot, and I didn't do that. Went back to the old, whatever you call them, hinges. Those little tiny thin ones. Basically what I needed a 1/4 inch back here. So I have my round rod that's on the bottom of this all the way around. So I cut the round rod out. Okay. And this was my reinforcement for back there, so that's out of there for the moment. So I gap it, I hold it and tack it just to get an idea, and it only closed that far. So it was hitting on the corner. I thought, okay, well, round the corner. Kept rounding the corner, and I got about that far and realized if I keep going, I'm going to have to grind all the way up into here. So I lifted it a little bit across the back. We almost got it to shut now, but it's still not. And if you haven't noticed, this should meet this right here, and it does not. Well, and it throws this off even more. Well, because this isn't in there anymore, so we don't have that back space that we need. Hey, but we're close. We're getting there. And just a basic hinge, some trimming. I'm going to put this back in here on the inside. Don't worry. Weld up the edge like so, and then come back and throw the hinge on there again, and see where our back spacing is, how high up we need to be. I'm sure we need to be, I'm going to guesstimate another 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. Hopefully our little plate will, it should, yeah, that should get us close. Anyhow, so that's where we are. This has been a struggle. Sometimes it's the simplest things that you don't want to do, but you have to do them anyway. So it was round my corners, grind a little bit more off. But we'll get to working on it. We'll get it, and see you in a bit. Hey everybody, I'm back. It's been a long time, although you don't know because of, editing and stuff. Finally figured out the little hinge deal. Had to get a 1/4 inch hinge, as we call it, I guess. Works perfectly. So moving on from there, now I've been working on my little push button for my button that I'm going to put right in here. So what I have to do now, take my lid off and put in some tabs around here like I have here, so I can then mount my push button in here like so. Well, like so. And also there's going to be a plate that covers this up, so you won't see this and all that good stuff. And then I've also got to cut a hole for the button. So I'm going to work on that. See you in a minute. Hey everybody, I'm back. A leaky air hose. Again. You know. So, back on the console and lid and the switch and the push button. So I've done a lot of work in the last day and a half, put all this in, and made, I'll show this to you real quick if I can pick it up. Alright, so that fits in there. And I'm going to just do a regular screw here, and I did a couple dimples, and this started bowing on me, so I had to stretch it back out, and that consists of putting it in a stretcher, and when I do that, it puts little marks in it, and I hate that. But that's something for another day. So our little switch has grown and become an adult. Boxed the back end of that in. As you can see, I just threw some tack welds on there. Not pretty, but they work. This was an interesting configuration, but that works. Had to go all the way through, slot my little thing a little more, and that works. So I'm going to install this so you can see what it looks like. Now, I'm not done with it. You know, I've got the push button working. Now I have to make a latch system for up here to so it'll hold down. Otherwise, you know, what's the point of the push button? You know what I'm saying? Get where I'm going? Okay. Boom. It's a little noisy, you know. But I think, I don't know. I don't know what I think. I don't know what would quiet that down, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. We'll worry about that later. But it's going to go up here, and voila. So, as you can see, here, once that opens, my intention is to come down off of this. See how that moves? Put a little step, just a little step right there. Make another rod of some sort that comes straight off of here. Now I'm just saying, I mean, you can change 3 times. Straight off of this, and then when that pushes, it will release from here. And I also have to make it, which is just a simple angle design in whatever you're making. So when it comes down and strikes that, if you put a little angle right here, for example, it would it? Yeah, anyway, yeah, it'll little angle right there, and then boom, it'll scoop back and then close onto it. So you'll see that once I don't know how you'll see it in there once I get it done and working, unless I can put the camera inside there. But we'll see, you know, maybe we will. As far as making the switch is pretty self-explanatory. I did some fast speed editing for you. Hopefully that comes out all right. And this is working. So we're good to go. See you on the next video. Hey, wait a minute, stop. It's not the next video. It's the conclusion to my console video. Here it is. And oh, by the way, forget my little panel extensions that go way up in there and cover up that tunnel. And that's how that goes. Boom, just like so. Anyway, probably wanting to know if my latch dealie works. It does, surprise. But there it is. Does not open till you push it. There's the configuration for that, little angle here. So when it strikes this, and that was just a piece of 1/4-inch round rod, flattened on this side and flattened on the bottom with a little bit of an angle, and then I welded the top in and smoothed it out. So what happens, boom, nice and solid. And I'm going to come back and clean all this up and grind it and smooth it and do more stuff. But anyway, I'm done for now. A couple little things, like I said, touch up there, get her mounted back in the car. I want to run some lighting, LEDs up underneath, so it shines out these holes. But I may have to put a backing that just kind of comes off the back a little bit, so you don't see in the holes and see stupid stuff. So, you know, like the floor or wiring or that kind of thing. So, but that's to be seen. But for now, we're done with the console. See ya on the next video.